All right, folks, I'm here today with Ben Meine, the at-large 6th place competitor for the Nerd Rage Gaming Championship. Ben, how's it going today?
Doing great. How are you, Matt?
I'm really good. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to ask you a couple questions so the viewers at home can get to know you just a little bit better.
For sure.
So the first question is, what are your Magic roots? How did you start playing? Who taught you how to play? What was your first favorite card, favorite deck, essentially?
So back in freshman year of high school, I played video games, actually. I was super into Call of Duty and, all the things that high schoolers would do. And there was this store that was actually in my hometown that had lots of, LAN parties and just a bunch of cool things going on with video games and tournaments and such. And I started playing Call of Duty tournaments. And at this place, the owners played Magic. And after a lot of these tournaments, they would be playing Magic afterwards. And they would be playing Standard. And at this time, it was New Phyrexia. So it was like Blue-White Delver Standard with millions of gut shots and ponders and great things. But I didn't know what was going on. So anyway, I was playing video games, and then I was like, always going up to these guys. I'm like, you're playing with cards. It's super nerdy, because I was like some freshman nerd myself, but I thought that was more nerdy. But then I ended up getting to play the game. They were like, Ben, this game's actually pretty sweet. You should sit down and play. So I did. I sat down and played, and it was a great time. I really enjoyed it. My first deck ever was Blue-White Miracles in Standard, because at that time I was watching the Pro Tour Block Constructed, and I saw Alexander Hayne win with Blue-White Miracles in Block Constructed. And I was like, man, that deck is super sweet. And he cast Entreat the Angels a bunch of times, and I was like, wow, that is super cool. And that's about where I started getting into actually purchasing my own Magic cards in forms of singles. Up until that point, I was just like, all right, I'll try this draft, and hopefully I'll do something. But at this point, I was like, oh man, I gotta buy these Entreat the Angels. And at that point, they were $40, so that was a big deal to me. But that's my story of how I got into it. I just... they showed me some block constructed coverage, and I was super into it, which is kind of strange. But yeah,
for sure. So what made you jump from the FNM casual scene to the competitive scene?
Oh, that's a great question. It was probably about when I started playing at one of my local stores, Lake Geneva Games, and a lot of my friends were playing competitively. They were playing traveling and going to Star City Opens every weekend, and I was like, man, that's super cool. Are you guys enjoying yourselves? Are you making lots of money? And they're like, oh, we probably don't make that much money, but we have a good time, and we try, and they did decent. My friend Jay Bullington, who was a player from the Lake Geneva area, he essentially pioneered Birthing Pod in Standard. He got the deck started, put it on a top 8 or top 16 finish, I don't remember, and then people were just like, dang, this is really cool, and they started building the deck. But yeah, that's basically it. I just had friends from Lake Geneva who were into competitive gaming, and then I was like, oh, it seems pretty sweet.
So at some point in your competitive playing, you must have heard about the Championship Trial Series. What was your experience like on the series this year?
Oh, man. It was an absolute blast. I played my first one in May, and that was just not really knowing what the championship trials were. I was just coming to play a 1K because I was in town, and I just heard I saw on Facebook there was this 1K going on, and I'm like, hey, why not? Let's play some Magic. And then I heard it was a part of a whole series, and I was just blown away. I was like, this is something that stores nowhere are doing, and this is super sweet. So I played that tournament. I don't think I did very well in that tournament. I think I top 16 or something, that one. But then I came back for the June one when I started working in the Chicago area, and I think that one was either Modern or Legacy.
The June one was the big Modern one.
Was the big Modern one? Yeah, that was the one where I believe I can't remember. I top 8'd one of the summer ones, right? And that sent me into I don't remember. I can't remember. It was the one where I top 8'd with Death and Taxes in Legacy or Affinity in Modern. I can't remember which one it was that set me into the chain of, oh my gosh, I want to play in all these. But it was somewhere around in the summertime, and that's essentially it. I was just kind of playing locally, And then I was just like, wow, this tournament series is super cool. So I'm going to keep going with it.
So going into the last championship trial, you were in 6th place, and you ended that championship trial still in 6th place. What was going through your mind as the rounds of that final championship trial were going on?
Oh my gosh, it was not the easiest place for me. I was able to be jumped by literally anybody who had like 16 points or better in the standings. If anybody from that huge group of people just top 8'd or top 4'd, I would be under certain distress, and I would have to do well in this tournament, which I did fine. Like 10th place or something on Breakers. It was worth 4 points, and that's all that mattered to me. And that was super important. But if I would have scrubbed out, I could have been in real trouble, because one of the competitors who was right behind me close was Tuan Nguyen, and he was in the running for top 4, and luckily that didn't end up too bad for me.
All right, so you qualified based on your performance at the November CT and all the rest of the CTs this year for the championship event. What do you think about the format of the championship, and how are you preparing for it?
Well, I watched the Star City Players Championships a lot, and that got my mindset to the whole triple format thing. Got myself all set for it, and selecting my decks, it's really not easy. I don't want to go in with people knowing what I'm playing, so I might twist it up. Maybe I won't, but it's interesting. I'm very accustomed to changing decks quite often, so it should be a little easier for me as opposed to someone who's a specialist in their craft, which might give me an edge because I'm so versatile with a bunch of the decks I play. Other than that, that could be my weakness too. That could be my downfall, not knowing how to adapt to everything at the same time, not learning quick enough. But hopefully, I think I can do semi well at picking up a new deck. So hopefully, that'll be a nice trait.
So, are you testing with any of the other competitors, or are you kind of flying solo for this event?
Unfortunately, I think I have to fly pretty solo for this, just because I'm an hour and a half away from all of the competitors down in Chicago, but it's fine. I have a lot of friends who play Legacy, play Modern. I'll do a lot of testing with them. It'll be fine. I know how they all play, or at least some of them play. The competitors, that is, and it's just about learning what things I need to play around at what points. Just learning all the niches.
So what's your strategy going into the tournament? Are you planning on spiking one of the formats and going 3-0 to qualify for the top 8, or are you planning on going for a good overall record in the event?
Well, I plan on going 3-0 in all of them, but you can't win them all, I suppose. As far as formats I'm more comfortable in, I hope to 3-0 Legacy. I could probably do just decent in Standard. Standard's probably my best format right now, just because of how much I play it. Mm-hmm. But I do think the Standard format is a little dicey for me, so I might not. I'm not feeling too confident about Standard, but I do think Legacy is my strong point. Modern is also a strong point for me. I hope to do a little better in Standard, but I know that my skills as a Magic player will hopefully, get me through Modern and Legacy to a 3-0.
So what do you think the biggest challenge in preparing for a tournament structure like this is?
The biggest challenge for preparing for a triple format 16-player event is that if you put too much time into learning specific matchups, assuming what people are going to be playing, you could fall back to not testing enough of one matchup, if they decide to not play that deck. Like how Joe Lissette, for example, played like Reanimator in the Players' Championship in Star City, just blew everyone away. I think the same thing could happen here. A lot of people would assume, Matt Hoey's going to play Elves, and Matt Dow's going to play Elves, or going to play Infect, and Dakota will play, Delver or something. But you never know. This could be just a completely blowout kind of thing. Like, I don't know what people are capable of. That's the whole thing to me, that people are unpredictable in these kind of events, and they plan to do things like this to like change up their entire strategy, and therefore all your testing, or at least a lot of it, could become invalid. So at that kind of point, it's just about increasing your player quality in yourself and hoping that your deck choice pans out. You know, you gotta kind of just cross your fingers and hope everything you tested for is good enough.
So Ben, you're actually the newest member of Team NRG Gaming. How has that experience changed you as a Magic player?
Well, being part of the team, it's definitely given me a lot more confidence as a Magic player, just knowing that I have a nice group of people that I can just relate to, I guess, as far as when I need to ask someone a question, what is good, what do I need to do, you know, just does anyone have a room for me this weekend kind of thing. Like, just having that kind of thing that I don't have to worry about, you know, just having some nice, knowledgeable minds to talk to about Magic is fantastic, and it's a thing that Magic players, a lot that like me, need. Just some sort of thing, just some outlet for your questions to be answered, and it's super helpful. And I think being with the group, it's just it could lead to me doing a little bit better in Magic tournaments just because of the confidence boost. So of course, I know there's more to it than just being on a team. You got to put up the results, you got to do the work, and I'm absolutely willing to do that. And that's why I'll be in the Invitational this weekend, of which we're recording. It's the Atlanta Invitational. I leave tomorrow, and it should be an exciting time as a member of Team NRG Gaming, and I can't wait.
All right, well, Ben, good luck in the Invitational this weekend, and good luck in the championship event in just a few weeks here. For Ben Meine, I'm Kahn. We'll see you next time.
Peace out.